Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Schmidt Lavelle. My name is Tom Lavelle, and as always, I'm accompanied by Mr. Timothy Schmidt. We appreciate
Senor Schmidt.
Senor Schmidt. We appreciate you joining us, and we appreciate you following, listening, liking, sharing, whatever it is that you're doing with us for the Schmidt and Lavelle Show. We appreciate you. We love you. Please spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbor. Schmidt and Lavelle, the hottest new show in all of Philadelphia. That's right. We've taken all of Philadelphia, not just Upper Roxborough anymore. But
even that part of 95 that fell apart.
We are the foundation to what I-95 has been built back up on. Schmidt and Lavelle.
Yep.
So you can be You can rest assured whenever you drive across what was a collapsed bridge.
We got word that most of those construction workers were listening to our show while they were rebuilding 95.
Kind of like a motivation sort of thing. They listened to us. They were motivated by how well we were doing, and they wanted to up their game. And that's what we're going to keep trying to do for you, the listener. We're going to keep trying to up our game. We got a lot of ideas coming. As you know, last week we had our first show people have been wanting us to do in person. We got that taken care of. We set up the whole vacation for ourselves, and we're going to be covering all that this week on the newest episode of Schmidt and Lavelle. And on
Before we move forward,
yes,
hold on. Before we move forward, just need to ask the folks for a little feedback. We're trying something new this week, and we're doing the blurred background.
What do you think, guys? Do you like this? I like it. I like it for me. I don't know, Tim, because you kind of have a cool background already. You're at the bar, you know what I mean? You got some Phillies towels, you got some, Mo, Larry, Curly, whatever. You got a bunch of cool things behind you, that bar atmosphere. Me, I got a blank wall and some pillows.
Well, we don't know that now. Who knows what could be behind it, We could just use our imagination right now.
You never know what's lurking behind Tom Lavelle at his basement. But
so why don't you tell us what's going to be on the show this week, Tom?
On the show this week.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, on the show this week, we're going to be talking about our vacations, kind of a review of that. Is Tim a beach guy now these days? We'll see. Different shore points, hot dog eating contests, my waist size, Tim's tooth emergency, Rickie Fowler, Nick Castellanos, the Phillies, and so much more. And like we said at the beginning of the show, if you're liking what we're doing, please give us a subscribe, a follow, a like, a share, anything you can do. We're growing and growing, and we're growing pretty well, Tim. I like how these things are taking off. We're getting more views and more likes than we ever have, and thousands of views. And our videos seem to be getting more and more popular, and we're going to keep trying to do that for you.
Tom, I told you about just real quick, just to touch on that before we get into the show rundown. But I told you on the way home from the shore on Sunday, I ran into John Crook at Farley Plaza.
Right. Yeah. And he had some nice things to say, right, Tim?
Yeah. He I recognized him first, and I said, "Hey, what's up, Crocker?" And he looked at me and he did a double take, and he was like, "Tim Schmidt, right? From Schmidt Lavelle?" I was like, "Yes, absolutely."
Yeah.
He was like big fan of the show. And I said, "Hey, look, I know you're on Sunday today. I know you're doing the Phils broadcast." I said, good luck with your show. And he wished me well. And he said, "Hey, looking forward to the next show with Schmidt Lavelle on Thursday night."
And John Crook, we appreciate you listening. We're big fans of you, and we know you're big fans of us. And we're going to keep trying to do what we do in same light of the 93 Phils. You know what I mean? We're that's kind of our vibe. Wouldn't you say, Tim? We're very much.
Yeah, we're a little bit of like Macho Row, if you will.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And so basically two princes are me and you, like, wasn't that the song they'd listen to after each win?
Maybe
Shill would go in there and he'd crank it in the dugout. Do you remember?
No, Shill was not part of Macho Row.
I know, but he would always crank two princes after a win. I said, if you
He was
want to call me, maybe just go ahead now. And if
just
you
go,
want to, maybe just go ahead now.
just go ahead now.
There's a great Tim, did you see the Phillies? And I know we're going off on a tangent here, but did you ever watch the Phillies 93 review VHS, whatever it takes,
Harry
dude?
Kalas, yeah, of
Ah,
course.
incredible. Well, if you watch that, they will reference how Schill used to play that after every win in the locker room.
Is that how it went?
Yes, yes. That's exactly how it went.
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
appreciate you, and we appreciate John Kruk for listening. And we certainly are following the Phillies. Now, we do want to get to a couple more comments that we've gotten, and this past week we got several, and I have a couple I'd like to note. From Stolzer614. He commented, not gonna lie, look forward to these. You guys are funny as shit. When referencing our clips on Instagram, he loves them. He looks
Mm.
forward to the videos. He looks forward to every show each week. He was telling us how funny he thought the show was. And Mr. Stolzer, we appreciate you listening, following, and spreading the good word about Schmidt Lavelle. Another comment talking about our vacation video when we brought up the Fudgy Wudgy guy and different ideas, different Wudgy ideas that we had for the beach. That Eagles kid commented, Sandwich Wudgy got me. He loved the idea of a sandwich Wudgy on the beach, a cart that walks up and down the beach selling peanut butter and jellies, ham and cheese, turkey and cheese, maybe a fresh Italian cold cut. Who knows? Turkey clubs. What do you think, Tim? On the beach. Could you beat it? I don't think so.
Can't beat that.
And our last comment by Mr. He Stiff Huxtable, he commented when we were talking about Tim's love for the beach, outlets and kinetic sand at the beach, I'm done. Of course, he put a bunch of laugh emojis after that because apparently he thought that was very funny. Now, Tim, that brings me to my first question. After your week down the beach, I've been sensing a new tune from you. Are you now a beach
Oh,
guy?
Tom, I gotta say, this week has really kind of turned the tide, if you will. No pun intended.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yes. Yeah.
The tides are turning.
Yeah. And you know what it is though, but it's more about the setup more than anything, right? Like so spent a lot of time. We were down in Seattle just to get kind of portray, for the listeners, and you were down in Seattle as well.
That's right.
And I was on 76th on the bay. So we're two families, well actually three families, and we split two houses. And the other side of the family had the house on 74th and Pleasure, which is, if you know Seattle, it's right on the beach. So this house was right on the beach, and I obviously, if you saw from the video from our account, I had a golf cart throughout the entire week, courtesy of Sun Rays,
Yeah, shout
down
out
in
to
Wildwood.
Sunrays Beach Rental. That cart was, dare I say, fat, Tim.
Yes, it was fat. PHAT.
PHAT, man. What a fat whip you had there.
And it made getting around a lot easier. So every
It was
day,
cool. I mean, that thing was cool, Tim.
yeah,
You pulled up, and I was like, "What is this?" And you had the speaker going. It looked like
uh,
leather seats and everything. Like it was
had
sweet.
Bluetooth. The whole
Yeah,
thing was just incredible, and it makes for getting around the beach town a little easier.
right.
And so my house was on 76th and the Bay, and the other house was on the beach at 74th and Pleasure. And I was able to just load up the kids and beach chairs and the coolers, and we drive right to the beach. We'd park the thing and literally just, I mean, they were on the beach. So all I had to do was unload it. And then I left my beach stuff and everything else there for the entire week. So it was only essentially it was one trip.
Wow.
And all I had to do was cart back and forth like the kids and the other adults that wanted to go to the beach, and it was a seamless transition. And I think the reason why I'm now a beach guy is because it was so easy. Like, dude, I mean, we had a prime position on the beach we had to walk, I don't know, maybe 45 yards, 50 yards to get a prime setup right on the beach in Sea Isle. Um, Coolers, everything. We had a bathroom like right available. Like if my
So
kids had to go to
key.
the bathroom,
That is so
food
key.
food was available at any time. All I had to do is get up and walk back to the house and grab some. Dude, my cousin Rachel, she would cook hot dogs. Okay, put them in tinfoil and load them up with ketchup and mustard, and she would cook like 20 hot dogs, and half of them would be mustard, half of them would be ketchup, and we didn't even have to get up and go back to the house for them because she already cooked them and brought them down to the beach, wrapped them in the aluminum foil so they stayed somewhat warm. It's just like a genius idea. And you know what? I gotta owe it to my family, my other side of the family, that really turned the key on this one because I this whole week I was ramming on being like I hated the sand and I didn't
Right.
like being on the beach. And Tom, I was on the beach every day for at least 4 to 7 hours.
Oh, and that's where it's especially if you can get to that golden hour on the beach where it starts to like turn like the sun is getting
Yeah.
lower and you get that nice.
Mhm.
Now, what was your shade situation like on the beach? Did you have a tent up or anything like that, or these cold cabanas or umbrella,
No,
or
I
what was the setup there?
so now it's just a lot of chairs. The other side of the family is more of they're Italian, so they burn and tan easy.
Uh,
Um, Not me so much as I'm a
I'm
pure
with you,
blooded
Timmy.
Irish German, so I like as much shade as possible. But you know what? I dealt with it and I lubed up on the ocean or the lotion. I had my nice SPF 70 or 80 or whatever the highest number you could possibly get. And I prevented myself from burning, which was great. But like there's a couple things that I really, now that I'm a beach guy, I started noticing like the kind of irritated me a little bit. All right. And I already talked about the Fudgy Wudgy guy and how that dude's awesome
Right. Hero
much
for you.
respect to that whole, yeah,
Yes.
much respect to that dude. But what I don't get, right, are the people that want the prime real estate, okay, on the beach, right? So they set their self up, they're right in front, so they get to dip their toes in the water as soon as the tide comes up. But like the people that set up behind them, like I don't know, like 15 yards behind them, that may have the key to what actually a great beach setup is, because you don't have to move, because when the tide comes up, you don't have to
Mm,
relocate. So the people that are in front that keep on pushing back start infiltrating
rookies.
your space. What
Yes.
is what
What's
is
the
the deal with
protocol?
like, yeah, I because I
Yeah.
look,
Tim, we
I'm
ran
a new
into that
beach guy.
situation. We ran into that situation. It's funny, we were asking ourselves that same situation. So if I can set up the what happened with us, we got down to
Yeah.
the beach, right? And we set up and we're two families, and so it's not a ton of people, but we've got four kids and five adults, right? And so that's several chairs. I think we ended up having eight chairs. So we have eight chairs and we bring these things called cool cabanas that we got new this year, which are great. If I were to suggest something to you, Tim, I'd say invest in a cool cabana. It's very easy to set up. You probably saw them out there on the beach. It's basically a little cabana that is like it pops open like an umbrella, and the corners have these things that you fill with sand and it holds it down. So either way, we had that set up. We had our chairs set up and we're ready to go. We're out there. There's no one in front of us, and there's a mark on the sand to where high tide goes to. I don't know if you noticed that,
Mhm.
Tim. You can see where high tide was last night, right? Because the water came up and it flattened the sand, and where the sand isn't flat, the water never got to. So we go right to the line of where the sand is, right? Well, then we're sitting there maybe half an hour, and here comes this family, and they got a whole crew coming up, right? There's room to the left of us. There's room to the right of us. There's room that they go maybe 10 yards in front of us and plop down right where we know water is coming. They take away our view of the beach. They're now literally right in front of us, right? They're setting up all their chairs. I mean, they might have had 15, 20 chairs.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, the ocean's pretty big, so they didn't really take up your view. I mean, it's not like you're at a movie theater and some 7-foot guy sits in front of you and you can't see the screen.
Dude, but you understand what I'm saying. They're blocking our
Yeah.
direct sight into the ocean. Obviously I can see
Sure.
the ocean. It's big, but you know,
Right.
there was plenty of room to either side of us. Well,
Right.
so now they're doing things and we have our setup and we're like, hey, we were here first and they're coming in and going right from, okay, whatever. And as the day's going on, the tide is coming closer and it's coming closer and closer. I'm saying,
Keep on.
how's this going to go? And they're taking a little bit back, a little bit back. Tim, I have to say, it was a very fulfilling moment when the tide finally came up. They're not paying attention. Wet towels, wet shirts, wet everything, under thing, and
Yes.
now they're scrambling. They're scrambling around,
Uh,
and we're sitting there like, huh? And then they're moving back. Like, are we supposed to move now? Like, am I supposed to move back for you because you
yeah.
came and set
No.
up right in front of me all day and took the what seemed to be the prime real estate, and now so
Yeah.
then they tucked their tails and they went behind us and set up then behind us, right? But
Yeah.
it was just like here's the thing. If they would have acknowledged it once that, hey guys, we got a large group coming down here. We don't mean to like jump right on top of you. We're just trying to be in this space for a while. Is there any, I would have said, hey, you guys we'll move here. We'll move there. We'll accommodate, you know what I mean? But they never acknowledged us. They never, like, we weren't even there. And it felt good when their shit got washed away. I got to tell you, Tim, but I don't know the
Yeah.
protocol on
So,
that.
well, no, I think it's got to be. I think we should set it up right now. The protocol has to be like, if you want the prime real estate and you want to sit up front, okay, you can continue to move back. But guess what? If there's people behind you, you got to go. You got to scurry. You got to go to the aisles,
Right.
right, and fill and be space fillers. You can't. You can't, like, dude. The people that were in front of us, they started moving back like they were part of our crew. Like there was like integrated, like it was like my cousin, then this random dude, and then it was my another cousin. It was like they were just trying to infiltrate our space. I'm like, dude, what is going on right here with these
Yeah.
people? Like, hey, get the hell out, get to the back of the sand here, right? Like, and look, I didn't want to speak out of line because I'm not the beach guy.
You're a
I
new
was
beach guy.
yeah, I was complaining. I didn't want to speak out of turn, but like, hey, after consulting with other beach people on the beach, they had told me that there is a protocol and people have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Look, and when people don't follow the rules, Tom, all is chaos.
Chaos. Anarchy. But so
Yeah.
I forgot to mention too, the family in front of us, not only did they come plop down in front of us and they had a ton of seats and all this other stuff, whatever, they started digging this hole, a huge hole, right? They wanted to dig a big, like pool so that when water did come up, it went into the pool. And so they were sitting behind that. And I feel like they thought it was going to block the tide from getting them. So the funny thing about it is when the water came out, it went around everything and didn't go into the pool at all. And it soaked all their stuff and stuff like that. So I'm standing there, they're scurrying around, and there's a guy standing there. I go up to him, I go, what's funny is none of the water went in the thing. Like just an observation. And he wanted nothing to do with that comment. He goes, yeah.
Dude, I used to think when I was a kid on the beach that like they're like digging like a giant hole and like digging the moat, right? Like I'd make this castle right in the middle and then I'd draw like dig a hole right around and like, oh yeah, my castle's gonna be saved. And like
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen at all. It never happens. And like I'd be like, oh my god, my castle's gone. No, this is terrible.
That's why you aren't a beach guy, because your castles are
Yeah,
always crumbling.
yeah.
Now, Tim,
Oh,
I
but
I will say this,
God,
even towards the end, like where you guys we're at 70s. The beach is not as long as like a Wildwood is like a long walk. Ocean City has is a
Yeah.
big beach. Sea Isles isn't
Hmm.
that big, but I do remember it being like more room than was there this year. I don't like in years past, I don't remember having to set up closer to the dunes than I had remembered for, the prime
There's some
spot.
there is some beach erosion going on. If you haven't noticed, Tom, in the right off the Sea Isle Beach, like probably it was probably closer to Avalon. You saw a dredger, if you will. I think that's
Okay.
the term. And it's basically what I was told was that this ship, it's out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they pull sand from the bottom of the ocean. They blow it back onto the beach. So that's what's going on. There's beach erosion everywhere. And in North Wildwood, dude, there's no beach right now because the water level is rising. And I don't know if you believe in all this you know,
Oh, like yeah, the global warming and stuff.
global warming and all
The water
yeah,
levels.
the water levels and things of that nature. Hey, listen, I mean, you can't argue the fact that in 1975 there was a beach in North Wildwood. In 2023 there is not a beach in North Wildwood right now. I mean, it's hard to argue that.
I mean,
But
I
obviously,
noticed it from a couple years ago, Tim. I mean, even
yeah,
last year, like I've noticed that we're setting up a little further back. Like I've definitely noticed
yeah.
that.
But hey, listen, I'm not really worried about that. I'm not worried about that unless my real estate is taken from me and people are starting to impose on my inner circle while I'm on the beach. All right.
Yeah,
And I'll
true.
tell you what, I spent a lot of time in the water, Tom. There was a lot of like activity on the Sea Isle Beach. Those lifeguards were in action, dude, the entire time I was down there. It was pretty
Very, yeah.
impressive to see. Like, and
They're
I don't get
into
it.
it.
Like,
They know what they're
yeah,
doing.
there was like three incidents in one day where they just made everyone get out of the water, and you thought it was like a scene out of Jaws. You thought there was a shark, but apparently, like three lifeguard towers down, there was like a kid that had to be saved out of the water because of a rip current or whatever. And God bless him. But like, hey, listen, I'm here trying to swim too. But like, do we need every lifeguard tower down here saving one kid? Like, can't we all just go swim and have fun? Like,
Yeah.
why you shut the entire beach down? All right. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, they did that in a couple days too. What we thought was something, and then it turned out it looked like a training exercise, and they shut it down. But they were and the sea was rough that day, my friend. And
Yes, it was.
I would say that there was a couple days where that current and the tide was starting to get, it could toss you around a little bit. And so I guess
There
they
was
err on
there
the
was
on the side of safety.
10 to 12 foot waves, dude. I was out there body surfing. Dude, I got tossed like a corkscrew a couple times, and I'm not a small guy. I
Right.
mean, those things were you're tearing me up a little bit, but it was fun to be out in the ocean. I got to pee in the ocean a bunch of times. I don't know if
Always
that's a
fun.
topic we should address. It was great. You didn't have to go back to the house, even though my house was on the beach. It was nice to get out there and just let a couple rip, you know?
You know what, Tim? I am pro peeing in the ocean, and I will tell you,
Yes.
but I am anti peeing in the pool. I do not.
Oh,
I've never peed in a pool in my life ever. Did you know that?
I've never peed in the pool, never peed in a pool unless I did it when I was a kid.
Right, unless I was like a
I don't
baby and I don't remember, but I've never
Yeah.
consciously peed in a pool ever, and I never will. And you know what? Part of the reason when I was a kid, not that like I never would have, I was paranoid because I got the story about the purple trail following you around if you peed in the
Yes,
pool.
yes, yes, yes.
You heard this story?
Yeah, they put that special dye if you pee,
Yeah.
they detected urine, and all of a sudden there'd be a cloud around you.
And you'd hear the story about, yeah, one time there was a party and so and so's dad or mom was in the pool. Next thing you know, everyone saw that she had peed in the pool or he had peed in the pool.
Yeah.
So then I remember getting out of the pool and going to the bathroom and then like shaking, like making sure like I don't need a drop. I don't want to drop. You know what I mean? I didn't know what sets off this die. You know what I mean? Everyone's
Like
gonna know.
violently shaking, like, come
Yeah,
on,
every
come
drop was coming out. Tom, come on, it's been
on.
no, 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 no. I mean, I'm getting every drop out. I'm not getting that. No one's getting
You
me
gotta
with the
super
purple
squeeze
ring.
on that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Got the kung fu grip. You're like,
yeah.
come on.
Get out of
Taking
here! Get out!
draining draining the lizard to a whole new level.
I was paranoid of that, but I never wanted to pee in a pool. But the ocean, I really don't care, which is, I guess, kind of weird. But the pool, no. The ocean, yes. Pool, no. Piss in the
I mean,
ocean,
dude,
not in the pool.
listen, the pool is 8 foot deep, probably in most pools on average. It goes to all the way down to 2 feet. It's it's about what 12 feet wide by, like, I don't know, maybe 60 feet long, and like there's multiple people on it. The ocean is forever.
Yeah, right.
The entire earth is made, it's 70% water, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, what are we talking about here? I
And the
just
water line's coming up, so there's more room to pee.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we're definitely now, Tim. Um, one thing that we both had happen this weekend that was a first. I think it was a first for me. I don't know if it was a first for you, but the rental we had was a Sunday to Sunday rental, and I was like, "Whoa, Sunday to Sunday! I've never had Sunday to Sunday. I didn't know they did Sunday to Sunday. I always thought they should do Sunday to Sunday, and just was curious, like, oh, I guess it's Saturday to Saturday. I never knew why." But then to find out that you also had Sunday to Sunday, I'm saying, is this a new thing? Have we moved the date
Mm.
of check in and check out? What were your thoughts on the check in Sunday, check out Sunday?
Well, number one, traffic. I mean, it's advertised like when you're looking for this rental, it's advertised Sunday to Sunday, no traffic. Like, avoid all the rentals, because most of the rentals are from Saturday to Saturday. So like you're a day late, which means that you avoid most of the rental goers that are leaving on Saturday or coming in on Saturday, right? You get there on Sunday and you leave on Sunday, which is fantastic. Um,
I did notice that. Less
but for
traffic there,
me,
less traffic home.
um, yeah, it was perfect. Honestly, it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get down without any traffic. And it took me an hour and probably 25 minutes. Add 10 because I ran into John Crock on the way home. Uh
No big deal.
but it just, the thing that bothered me more than anything was the Saturday crowd that came in for 4th of July weekend. Which, look, if it was last year, I rented from Saturday to Saturday, and it was a week before, so I didn't have to deal with like 4th of July weekend. But like 4th of July weekend is a monster down the Jersey Shore, and it just turned into an absolute nightmare from Saturday morning to Sunday, probably midday. Like, I left at 8:30, but like I just know that it was a madhouse.
Yeah.
It's just so much traffic, and like rentals, like the whole week. You could tell on our block that it was probably half occupancy. So like there was a lot of houses that just didn't have people in them, and there was plenty of parking on the street, and you didn't have to worry about it. Like on Saturday, we had my dad's friend that wanted to come over and have a couple drinks and have dinner. He came over to the house from Ocean City with his wife, and they're an older couple. And dude, for 25 minutes, they drove around trying to find a spot,
Wow.
to the point where they were about to go back to Ocean City. They're like, it's not even worth it. And then like I was like, you know what? I'll follow you around until you find a spot, and I'll pick you up and I'll drive you to the house, which is ridiculous in itself. And then I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I'll just give up my spot, and I'll take my kids out, and we'll go play miniature golf while you guys sit here and have. So I gave up my spot so they could park in my spot. And then I went and did something for 2.5 hours with my kids, and then came home.
Wow.
Like that's how ridiculous. was on Saturday. And I was like, dude, honestly, I kind of wish I was going on Saturday instead of Sunday now, you know?
Right. Yeah, and I think like you're saying, I like the Sunday to Sunday, just maybe not going into the 4th of July weekend, maybe a week
Yeah.
later or a couple weeks later or a week before, whatever, just so that you're not dealing with such a crammed time. Like you definitely noticed the spike in traffic and the
Volume,
people
traffic
down there.
volume,
Yeah.
just, yeah. Like you couldn't even go out to have like a bite to eat. Like if you wanted, like I took my girlfriend out to lunch um down to O'Donnell's, and I have another bone to pick with this whole situation too, by
Uh-oh.
the way.
O'Donnell's.
um so no, we went down like in the morning on Saturday morning. I'm like, hey, look, we'll go out to lunch and have a nice bite to eat. And so a lot of these bars now, they don't even open until 5 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I get to O'Donnell's and I'm thinking of going into the actual restaurant to have a nice bite to eat, like a full menu, and it's locked. So I'm with my girlfriend and I'm like, I'm happy to treat her to a nice little lunch. It's a Saturday of 4th of July weekend, and they're not even open inside. So they point me to a lunch truck. They're like, no, we have a lunch truck. And there's like 8 items on the lunch truck. And I'm like, what is this? It's like a
Yeah.
short rib grilled cheese. It's like a
Uh,
quesadilla.
yeah.
And it's like the first opportunity I had to take my girlfriend out to like a nice meal because I had my kids all weekend, all week. And
Yeah.
I just wanted like just a quick, like 2 hour nice little lunch or whatever with
Yeah.
my girlfriend. And like I'm taking her to a lunch truck because, and apparently they don't have enough help down there, which is a shame, but
I
I find it
noticed that
hard to.
too, Tim. And I noticed that earlier in the week when it wasn't even as crowded. It's more ridiculous to not be open when you know you're going to be busy. It's 4th of July weekend. How are you not open? You know what I mean? But we were down there and it was a certain night and we let like my wife and her sister and her mom and they were like go out, they like to do they like Atlantic City. They go to Atlantic City for the night. Like we just stay home with the kids, we smoke cigars and drink on the deck. But we always order pizza for them when they come home. So it's ready. Like they come home, they were having fun, they have a couple slices of pizza, they go to bed, we all whatever. Tim, there wasn't a place open. I mean, and we're calling it like 9 o'clock on a fucking,
Now,
down
did you
the
try
shore.
Oogie's?
The place we had to go is Uncle Oogie's, and they closed at 10. And so, like, but I couldn't believe there wasn't another, like, one spot open till 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, this is prime time down the shore. Like, this is peak, months. You got to be making as
Yeah.
much as you can. No wonder you can't afford help. You're not open. Like someone's got to be
and
there.
and look, I mean, we're bitching here. I mean, look, I had a great time down the shore. It was just like it's a couple things that kind of annoyed me a little bit, and that was one of them. But it's just the convenience. When you're on vacation, you want all the amenities to hit, right? You want
Right.
everything to work in your favor, and some just didn't, and that's fine. But I just it kind of rubbed me the wrong way with that whole situation.
Yeah. I hear you, dude. So, Tim, last question. We're down at Sea Isle. As far as all the shore points go on the New Jersey side, to me, Sea Isle is my favorite place to go. I go to LBI. My mom's in LBI. We go stay there. I'm not a huge fan of LBI. I don't like the vibe there. I don't like the traffic. If you don't like the traffic at Sea Isle,
Well,
you go to
mostly
LBI and it's
it's
yeah, it's New
mostly New
York.
Yorkers.
Yes, yeah. But they got a four
So that's
lane road right through the middle of the whole island that you have to like contend with wherever you go. You're either walking the sidewalk with a 4 lane road going down the side or you're trying to cross it. The beaches are shorter than Sea Isle, so there's not a lot of place and they're steep. So with kids, it's tough. You can get sucked out like that.
yeah. No, I mean, so here's my thing. All right. So with having kids, my kids are 8 and 10, and they've graduated. Like it's a progressive thing. When you start out with kids, you start out usually everyone starts out in Ocean City. right? Like
Right.
it's like the it's a dry town. It's got the boardwalk. It's got all the amenities. It's got the rides for the kids that are just less dangerous, if you will, right? Like
Right.
they're like the Ferris wheel and all the kiddie rides, right? Um, so we started out there, and Ocean City has everything. It's just like the family spot, right? And I think it's been voted like the number one beach town in all of USA like a handful of times. And it's a great spot. But like as you get older, you need to start adjusting, right, to your kids and what your kids like. And my kids love rides, dude. They love the rides. And um like last year we were on the boardwalk. We were on the boardwalk. We were on 20th Street in Wildwood, right by the arcades, and we hit the boardwalk every single night. And I obviously got a little expensive for me because you're playing the crane games all the time, and you're
Yeah.
popping balloons and you're hitting the rides, and but it's exactly what they want, right? And for the most part, like the vacation is about more so the kids, right, than you, right? You
Oh yeah.
kind of adjust. But like the Sea Isle thing is more so a beach town, right? Like, and that's why I think I turned into a beach guy this week, is because so I just think that you need to pick the shore town that's really specific to what your kids like. And like you could force your kids to say, "Hey, you love the beach," and just take them to Sea Isle and never go to wild whatever, right?
Right.
But I mean, to make them truly happy, maybe you should take them to Wildwood and spend a lot of time on the boardwalk and do the rides and the water park, dude. Dude, we had such a great time. Dude, my daughter Emma, um, who never like could never do water rides. She did shotgun falls. She was swimming in 10 feet of water. She like hit every slide at Raging Waters. And I was so proud of her, dude. It was like, so like, you have them test their boundaries, and they keep on pushing themselves. And as they get older, it was cool to see. Like last year, she was so attached to me, right? Like every
Right.
minute of every during the water park. And this year, she went with her sister and her other two cousins, and they went and hit every water slide in the water park together on their own. Didn't ask me to be near them, holding their hand or anything like that. It's just cool to see that development and stuff like that. And like we talk about being dads on this
Oh
podcast,
yeah.
and it's a cool thing to see them grow and mature into what they're doing now, like in terms of rides and stuff like that. So it's cool.
No, I had something similar, same kind of thing, that progression with now, we went on the log flume ride, which was a big step. Mickey's graduated to where he's tall enough to go on certain rides that he wasn't allowed to last year. And so he went down there. I know he was scared of the one ride. He went on it, he did it, he survived and was happy that he did it. He said it was scary, but he made it. And then also riding the bike down there, he is gone from being scared to go too fast on the bike to now flying around. And we're home now. We're riding the bike every night, and he's just progressing with that. So to see that stuff is really some of the best stuff in parenting, you know. So kudos to that. So I'm sure we'll be graduating to a Wildwood, before I know it. Before I know it, Tim, we'll be in Wildwood,
Yeah.
going on all the
You'll be
rides.
so pissed. You'll be so pissed because you'll be like, "Where's Sea Isle at?"
Yeah. All right, Tim. So this past week, we are filming right now on what is 4th of July, yet again showing our commitment to all the loyal followers and listeners we have out there, that we're committed to putting out content on a consistent, regular basis. On the 4th of July, a tradition is the Nathan's hot dog eating competition. Tim, have you ever seen this hot dog eating competition? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I- Look, it's an absolute it's just a shit show a little bit, right? Like it's cool to see. I remember like back in the day it was like Kobayashi versus Joey Chestnut. Like that was like the big rival.
Right.
Um And dude, I honestly never really paid attention to it. Always saw who won, but watching it over the last like day today, and there's like highlights of it from yesterday.
Yeah,
It's not the great. It's not the great. It's not like your like local hot dog eating contest where
no,
like people are just ripping down a hot dog and it's fun. Like these people are fucking
they're
gluttons for punishment.
slopping the bun and like water and like there's shit flying everywhere. They're shoving them down and they're like doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Women, men, it's a mess, Tim. And I want to say the record is 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes by Joey Chestnut. Tim, I don't know if I've eaten 76 hot dogs in my entire life. I think I've gone a year, without eating a hot dog. You know what I mean? And not just like that I necessarily dislike hot dogs or anything like that, but I might have had in my lifetime, if I added it up, 2, 3 hot dogs a year. Am I?
Oh,
Am
I
I?
mean that's a travesty. That's a travesty in itself. I mean, hot dogs are Americana, dude. This is what Fourth of July's all about. Like
I
you
had a
never
hot
go into a
dog
dollar.
today. I had a
You
hot
never
dog
go into a
today.
dollar. You never go into a dollar dog night and had like 10 hot dogs.
Not 10. I think I've had like, maybe max 3 at a dollar dog night.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? What's the point of
No.
going to a dollar dog night then?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I got 3 hot dogs for $3. That's a pretty good deal.
Oh, dude, you are the worst, dude.
I
Yo, I thought there was a lot more coming out of this segment than the fact that you don't eat hot dogs. That's terrible.
had a
A
hot
hot
dog
dog
today,
is that's one hot dog. That's probably like a
and
total
I've
of
got
10 in the
my
last five.
I'm done for the year.
That's brutal,
I
dude.
might have
That's
a hot
brutal.
dog one other time this year, the rest of this year. Maybe, and it'll be this summer. It'll be
What do you
some.
have? What do you have against hot dogs?
I don't really have anything against hot dogs, but if I have the choice between a hot dog and a burger, I'm going burger.
What about bacon?
I love bacon. I'll eat bacon all day.
Well, I
That's not
mean,
a hot dog. I love
I
scrapple. I
mean,
love
it's part
pork
of a
roll.
hot
I
dog.
like all that stuff. I'll eat all of that.
I,
Do you ever have a fried bologna
I
sandwich?
don't
I
doubt.
love that. Do you ever
Fried
have a
bologna's
fried
out,
bologna
dude.
sandwich? Do you ever
My
have
dad
one?
loves a fried bologna sandwich.
Dude, that's as
No,
old school as it gets. A fried
actually,
bologna sandwich.
no, I have. My dad has made me eat one like before. He's definitely made me have fried bologna.
Oh, they're incredible. It's basically a grilled cheese with some fried bologna in it. It's, I'm not, hey, no bologna. It's incredible. Yeah,
Bologna.
I like hot dogs. I don't dislike hot dogs, but it's not something I'm having for dinner. You know what I mean? I don't do it
Uh,
when the option is there for at a barbecue or a grill that I'm at, and there's like burgers and hot dogs. Maybe I'll have a hot dog and a burger, or a piece of chicken with it or whatever. I'm a big potato salad guy. I love potato and pasta salad,
Tom,
whatever.
Tom, can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, Lady Gaga's she's singing her. It's the last part of Maverick, and it's beautiful right now. I'm listening to this. It's another. It's just a beautiful summer blockbuster. Lady
Oh
Gaga singing
man.
her song. It's
Is
beautiful.
that jumping into your top 5, Tim? I know we did just a top 5 summer
It's
blockbusters. Is
it's
is
creeping, but
Maverick?
I
What is
mean,
that song that is from the movie? I know
dude,
it
I don't know.
too.
It's fantastic right now. I'm listening to it. It's beautiful. It's in the background. I wish I could turn it up a little bit, but
I love Lady Gaga. Let me tell you, I'm a big Gaga. I go Gaga for Lady Gaga. Well, Tim, it's funny that we're bringing up eating all these hot dogs and all this other stuff. I had an interesting thing happen this past weekend, and I've had to come to grips with what's been going on. As you know, I'm getting older. I recently turned 40 years old. I've got a young baby at home, another kid, and I am not getting maybe to the gym as much as I would like. My eating habits are
mm,
more about convenience than they are about nutrition. Um,
mm.
a lot of things going on, drinking, whatever. Tim, I had to come. I've always been a 32. I've always worn a 32 waist my whole life. Very easy. Mostly 32, 32. Very, very simple. If I need a pair of pants, 32, 32. Tim, this past week I said, let me try on these 34s, and they fit perfectly. Comfortable, nice around the waist, not too tight. Tim, I've moved to a 34, and this is reason for concern for me. I'm a fat piece of shit. I'm an old fat piece of shit. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how it happened, but it's happened. I'm here. I've done it, and my life is over. That's all. I just wanted to confess that to
Well,
our listeners out there.
probably don't want to hear what my waist is, but yeah, I've moved into the 40s before I turned 40, so it's not a good. It's not not a good thing.
Tim, I've been 32 since I can remember. Probably
You're not
since
like
high
Seinfeld,
school.
and you're right. Are you writing your waist size on the jeans on the
No,
inside?
no. No, I'm not doing that. I don't know what I don't even know that reference. I'm missing the
It's
Seinfeld.
well, he used to write on his jeans on the inside that it was a 31 waist, and he always wrote it on the inside of his jeans. He would black out the actual number, and he'd write 31 on the inside. It's just like a weird thing that he had. Always been a 31.
Well, Tim, I've got to do something about that, and I'm thinking when Benny gets to be 1 year old, he is
Mm.
going to be allowed into daycare. We've been on the waiting list forever. They said once he turns 1, he will be in daycare. We'll come and watch it, drop him off. At that point, I will be getting some time back, some time to go to the gym, some time to get a little bit healthier, a little bit more mobility, a little bit more moving. And I vow to be back in 32s again at some point. I might go right back to 34s after that, but 32s, I'll be back 32s. I got the 32s blues. All right, Tim. So you had something happen to you this past week. You had a bit of a
Oh,
dental
oh,
issue.
oh, dude, it was brutal. People probably can resonate with me with this whole situation, and it, I'm driving home. I picked up my kids on Friday before we went down to the shore, and we're driving home, and we got stuck in traffic, and it was pretty brutal traffic, and I ran out of water, and I was starting to get like a little thirsty, and my daughter in the back seat had a piece of gum, and usually when you chew some gum, it creates some juice, right? And
Yeah.
I
Get
mean,
rid of that
it's
cotton
not
mouth.
gonna, yeah. So she's like, Dad, I got a piece of gum. Do you want some? And dude, I don't chew gum. I'm a mint guy. I'm like the wintergreen mint stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
the icebreaker mints, and
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
that all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time. I probably haven't had a piece of gum in about 5 years. She gives me a piece of gum. I chew it for about 30 seconds, and I feel something pop in the back left hand corner of my mouth. And it's a filling in
Oh no.
my molar. It's popped out, and now I'm freaking out. And I'm like, dude, like I'm going on vacation. Like I need to get this thing fixed. Like I need like an emergency dentist appointment. Like, and the problem is that I used to date a dental hygienist
Mm,
before the girl that I'm dating now. And I can't go back to that office, Tom.
no, you can't.
I can't call up that office and be like, hey, I had a filling fall out.
Hey, how you
Hey,
doing? Long time
it's
no
been a
talk to.
minute.
Yeah,
So
here, come on
now,
in. We'll clean you up real good, Tim.
yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, we got Tim on line one. He wants to
Yeah.
come in for an emergency
Yeah.
appointment with
Let's get him. I think Dr. Isaac Yankums is available. Yeah.
exactly. So I hadn't been to the dentist since I've broken up with this ex-girlfriend, and it's because of that reason I've been putting it off. So
Mm.
I happened to run into a buddy of mine, Timmy Spence. Big fan of the show, by the way.
Hey, love Tim
Um,
Spence.
and
Catered my
he
birthday party. Hmm.
yeah,
From what I
and he
remember, the
goes
food was great.
he goes, "Hey, I got my dentist. I'll get you in tomorrow. No problem." I go, "Seriously?" He goes, "Yes, no problem." So I show up for the dentist appointment, and sure enough, they get me in, they get me fixed, temporary filling. And they go, "Hey, you're gonna need a root canal, which is scheduled for tomorrow, Tom."
Ooh,
So I got my teeth cleaned, I got a root canal scheduled, but like over the weekend, down the shore, I'm in this relationship with this beautiful girl, right? My girlfriend Diane,
yeah.
and she's got the best set of teeth that a man can ask for, or a woman can ask for. She's got bright white teeth, and I'm sitting there and I'm in these photos and I'm smiling and I'm like, man, I gotta get my teeth whitened, dude. Like it's about time, man. I got
Yeah.
a great smile. I just need to brighten these puppies up a little bit.
Tim, I think you have great teeth, and I've noticed it. I have noticed it when we're doing video for the show, and I'm
Yeah.
cutting and editing and stuff like that. I go, man, he's got nice teeth partially because I got these big old chompers that always stick out, and not the nicest set. But I try to cover them up as much as I can when I'm on the show.
Teeth, Tom, teeth are so important in life, dude. They're a major factor in some decisions in life.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. And
I,
we're not pulling teeth talking about this stuff. You know what I mean? It's something that it's an important thing. And maybe we can set up a dual teeth whitening trip. Tom and Tim get their teeth whitened together. I might have to pay more, because I got more space to cover, but that would be
yeah, bigger teeth. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, you, sir, that's a lot of teeth to cover, We only usually have to deal with that with like horses, So we
Might need to go to a veterinarian.
yeah. Tim, that's a shitty situation. Let me tell you, there's nothing worse than tooth trouble. It's like any kind of tooth issue or anything going on with your teeth, like a toothache, a filling popping out, a root canal, all this stuff. It nobody likes the dentist. Nobody likes
Mhm.
getting work done on your teeth. That's awful. Hopefully, you get a nice, easy root canal. Everything's fixed and ready to go. And
I'm
next thing,
hoping, Tom, maybe tomorrow after my root canal, we can hop on real quick and we'll see how it's affected my
oh
speech.
man, if they still have the what is it, Novocaine?
Oh,
If they still
yeah.
have that going on there. Yeah, Tommy, it was a great root canal. I really like it.
That really went
Yeah.
well.
Tim, couple sports things that I want to bring up before we get out of here. This past weekend, one of the most popular, I think, most popular golfers on the tour, and not necessarily now. He's had a great year, and maybe he's been more successful than he's been getting given credit for over the last couple years. But a huge win for Mr. Rickie Fowler. And what I noticed about the whole thing was how much the crowd was into Rickie Fowler winning this tournament. When he won, the reaction, huge pop, cheering for him, everything like that. Interviews after his win and I couldn't be happier. I love this guy. I love Rickie Fowler. I wanted him to win the US Open. It didn't happen. He wins the tournament after that. But Rickie Fowler, incredible win this weekend. Did you get to watch any of that? I know we were down the shore and the
Now
cable
I
the
was able
cable wasn't very good.
to I was able to actually watch it via stream on my phone through the CBS app. And it was cool to see because Ricky came, he shot a very low round three, which vaulted him into the lead for the Sunday round. And Kyle Morikawa had an excellent round on Sunday and shot, I think, 8 under to
Wow.
tie Ricky for the lead, which caused a three-way playoff. I think it was Adam Hadwin, who was a Canadian, who was very famous for last week. or like 2 weeks ago, one of his fellow Canadians won a tournament, and he ran onto the actual green and got absolutely destroyed by a security guard. He
Great
got
video if you haven't seen it. He just gets leveled, but he's spraying champagne, and the guard
yeah.
comes over and just
But it's funny because he's in the position to win now, so he's on the final green on Sunday on 18 and has a chance to win it. But it was just it's awesome to see Rickie win a tournament. He's been in contention all year long. If you've followed the PGA Tour, Rickie has been close, if not, towards the top in a lot of these tournaments. He's probably playing better golf than most players on tour. Scotty Scheffler is probably the only one that's playing better than him. And he finally got his W. He was in contention for the U.S. Open a couple weeks ago. But I mean, the guy has been the face of golf for a long period of time. He's in a little group. He's in like a groupie with like it's him, Justin Thomas, and Jordan Spieth, and Smiley Kaufman. All these guys who are like really good golfers that have they're like a really tight knit group of guys that really pull for each other. And Rickie went through some tough times over the course of the last like 3 or 4 years in terms of like his swing, and it's cool to see how far he's fallen and then how hard he's worked to get back to where he's at. And a lot of people are crediting Butch Harmon, who is a swing coach. Butch Harmon's worked with Tiger Woods in the past.
oh yeah.
He went away from Butch Harmon for a few years and then finally came back to him this past year, and it's done wonders for him. And he's back in the winner's circle and he's competing for majors. And it's good when Rickie Fowler is playing good golf because he's one of the better players and most popular players on tour.
Yeah, and that that kind of a comeback story probably adds to his popularity and the reason why people were so happy to see him win. I know I love seeing him when he drained that putt to win the tournament, and you could just see the weight lifted, and like because he's been right at the doorstep for several tournaments now, and just to finally be able to get that win was pretty awesome to see. Tim,
There's a great. Did you see the meme?
no, what? Oh, what with him like the
So
Ryder Cup picture?
no. There's a meme, and it's like because if you watch the end of that, when he makes a putt, he just like drops his shoulders and he looks up into the sky. And there's been a bunch of memes that says like people are wondering what like Rickie was doing like after he finally won his tournament. And there's a video going around, and it's him after he like makes the putt. He looks up into the sky. It's the Happy Gilmore scene where Happy Gilmore looks
Ah,
up,
yes. With
and
Chubbs and the
it's
alligator.
Chubbs and Abraham Lincoln. The internet's still undefeated.
Undefeated. Tim, we want to give a quick shout out to one, and here we go. You ready for this? One Nick Castellanos.
Oh, you said it right. Kudos to you.
Thank you. I'm not saying Tim has corrected me multiple times on the show for the pronunciation of Mr. Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos, the Philadelphia Phillies, voted now for this year's All-Star game. Congratulations to Nick. He's having a great year. Definite bounce back year from last year, which was a bit of a disappointment for a lot of fans. We expected him to have a bounce back year this year, and seems like it's happened. Hopefully he can keep it up. And speaking of bouncing back, the Phillies have bounced back. 6 games over 500 now. Another big win over the Rays today, a tough team in the AL, and they've got
The best team in the AL.
And they've got a couple more games coming up in that series. I think they're going to be going into the All-Star game on a positive note. We're going to be moving forward, and I think we're in one of the toughest divisions in the league. When you look at the Braves and how the Marlins have been playing, and then us, you got 3 teams well above 500 going into the All-Star break, and I think we're going to make it happen, find a wild card spot, and get into the playoffs. Now, once again, as we've been saying multiple times throughout the show, we appreciate you listening, liking, sharing, following, subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your family. Schmidt Lavelle taking over Philadelphia. Tim, anything you'd like to say to all the fans out there before we sign off?
Nothing, Tom. I think you said it all. I just want to say appreciate the people in Seattle for having me. And hey, looking forward to next year.
Cheers. Till next week.